It's worse. So I'm sure you all know who Ray Epps is.
Yeah.
So Ray Epps was the guy who told everybody this.
We need to go into the Capitol. Into the Capitol. What? No! Peacefully. Fed.
So people, so that was Ray Epps. But and he. At first, he was saying that it was a conspiracy theory, and that he didn't have anything to do with it. But now the Department of Justice is recommending that he get just 6 months in jail. There are people who weren't even there who are getting 10, 20 years in jail. Ray Epps was there. There's video of him trying to incite people to go into the Capitol just against their first instinct. And he gets 6 months. At first, the New York Times was defending him. And here, I'll show you. So this is the New York Times. Tucker Carlson repeatedly endorsed a conspiracy theory about an Arizona man inciting the January 6, 2021 assault on the Capitol. Now lawyers representing Ray Epps and his wife are proceeding with plans to sue Fox News for defamation. Why is it that the New York Times, of all the protesters, the only one that they give a shit about is this guy? Why would that be the one that they wanted to defend his reputation? And they made it sound like it was a conspiracy theory. Well, now it's not a conspiracy theory because the goddamn Department of Justice is recommending he gets 6 months in jail. So the New York Times is doing this. So this is why you watch this show. This is why I have a show, is because the New York Times is full of liars, and they're lying to their readers for who? The establishment. And who's the establishment? The donor class that owns the New York Times, that owns the Washington Post, the billionaires that own the MSNBC, CNN, and Fox News. That's what this is. And now you know why they got rid of Tucker Carlson, because he was telling the truth about January 6th and guys like Ray Epps. And so you see what that is, right? And by the way, don't worry about it, Ray. I think they're going to put you in that special protecting your cover story wing of the prison. You got all kinds of benefits there. Everybody else is in the agency, so you're going to have things to talk about. And then he cooperated. So they're saying that they're saying he's getting a short sentence. They gave him a plea deal because he cooperated with the FBI. So he cooperated with the FBI. Was that before January 6th that he cooperated with the FBI? Or is that after January 6th? I'm guessing it's both.
Well, they left it vague, so when it's revealed later on, they can say, we said he cooperated. We never said when.
Yeah, it's hey, look, Ray, we got to give you 6 months. We're sorry. You were very cooperative. This is
if he's got to go to jail, then it's not a conspiracy theory that he was there encouraging people to go in.
So if he's got to go to jail, that means that this New York Times story was propaganda that was dictated from the billionaire class directly to the New York Times, and then they did this goofy story about it.
Did he start this lawsuit?
And it says here, look at this, Kurt. It says the case that could be Fox's next dominion.
Yeah, I saw.
Tucker Carlson, before he was sidelined by Fox, repeatedly endorsed a conspiracy theory about an Arizona man. This is not a conspiracy theory because now the guy's going to jail for it. Do you think the New York Times is going to apologize to Tucker Carlson, saying he was pushing a conspiracy theory?
Am I wrong that he's suing because he's going to go to jail? Or he was suing before? I thought it was now they're going to talk about giving him time, and he was trying to sue for that. Like, nice going, you got, now that I have time because you were pushing this.
He's suing because this conspiracy theory led him to being prosecuted for a crime he did in fact do.
Like, so it doesn't make sense. Like, that's just a conspiracy. I do 6 months though.
So here's what Tucker Carlson has to say about had to say about this.
And that was a tip off to me. I mean, I had no thought in my head as I watched this happen on television and in the subsequent weeks that U.S. law enforcement or military agencies had anything to do with it. That never crossed my mind. I never thought it was a false flag or anything like that. I'm not.
He's talking about January 6th.
Conspiracist by temperament. I never thought that. And then I interviewed the chief of the Capitol Police, Stephen Sund, in an interview that was never aired on Fox, by the way. I was fired before it could air. I'm going to interview him again. But Stephen Sund was the totally non-political worked for Nancy Pelosi. I mean, this was not some right-wing activist. He was the chief of the Capitol Police on January 6th. And he said, oh, yeah. That crowd was filled with federal agents. What? Yes. Well, he would know, of course, because he was in charge of security at the site. So the more time has passed, now it's been...
You know what they're doing? They're playing with saying federal aid. Like, he's obviously an asset. When people call him a Fed, that's what they're talking about.
Yes.
And then they go, no, he's not a federal agent. You know, I know he's not a member of the force.
No, but he's working
Right.
with the FBI as an informant and a provocateur, an
Well,
agent.
they get in those wormy.
That's
That's how
right.
they get around.
Well, here, this is from a House Homeland Security Committee hearing on November 15th, 2022. This is Representative Clay Higgins from Louisiana, or you say Louisiana, and he's going to ask the FBI Director, Christopher Wray, whether the FBI had confidential sources or FBI employees, i.e. undercover agents, embedded in the crowd on January 6th. Let's listen.
Does the FBI have confidential human sources? Did the FBI have confidential human sources embedded within the January 6th protesters?
So it's good to see that the FBI is being grilled by Senator Foghorn Leghorn. I say a simple yes. I say a simple yes or no, son.
Now, boy, dude.
Now,
On January 6th of 2021.
Well, Congressman, as I'm sure you can appreciate, I have to be very careful about what I can say about when
Even
we are.
now, because that's what you told us
May I
2 years
finish?
ago.
May I finish? About when we do and do not, and where we have and have not used confidential human sources. But to the extent that there's a suggestion, for example, that the FBI's confidential human sources or FBI employees in some way instigated or orchestrated January 6th, that's categorically false.
Did you have confidential human sources dressed as Trump supporters inside the Capitol on January the 6th prior to the doors being open?
Again, I had to be very careful.
It should be a no. Can you not tell the American people, no, we did not have confidential human sources dressed as Trump supporters positioned inside the Capitol?
Gentleman's
January
time
6th?
has expired.
You should not read anything into my decision
Ms.
not to share information.
Director Ray,
confidential human
gentleman's time has expired.
you should.
I'm going to, though.
Yeah. Well, the fact that I'm a representative for a federal agency and that I tell you that I can't answer certain questions that would be incomprehensibly incriminating towards my agency and myself should not sway your opinion of my evasion to your question at all. It's supposed to be enough that I am from the all-encompassing and very dangerous tax-funded federal organization which works tirelessly against its own people. Your time is up, gentlemen.
I was trying to find the videos because just now I was looking to see like what are these papers saying now that he's going to jail.
Yeah, what?
They put quotes. He's under felonious. They made it like it's not real. I was just looking at Washington Post and the other one, but I still don't understand. They say there's videos of him de-escalating. I can't find those.
I've never seen. I've seen nothing but videos of him trying to escalate.
De-escalate.
No, escalate.
Escalates when you make it worse.
Yes.
You've only seen that.
I've only seen
Right,
that. I have
okay.
never seen a video of him de-escalating.
Well, it's very obvious. You look at the sentences that nobody's got
Yeah.
on January 6th, and you look at, they gave him 6 months so that they could say that he got a sentence, so any
Yeah.
other narrative is a conspiracy
That's
theory.
right.
But you have to remember, when you watch this kind of news, this is not for us. This
Right.
is for the people who watch Stephen Colbert and think he's hilarious. That's
Yeah.
who this
Yeah.
is for. That's who will watch this, and if you tell them it's a conspiracy theory, no further questions.
That's it.
Yeah.
And
That's
if,
all.
if anyone questions it,
all they
you're
need to
you're a
see
kook.
is the New York Times
Yep,
saying
that's it.
conspiracy theory, and that's all they need to hear.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't watch the videos of him. That's for damn sure.
That-
Because there's no other way. It's the most clumsy, undercover
Yes.
attempt to butt. Hey, fellow writers.
Hey, fellow writers, what are we all talking about?
Tomorrow, we need to go into the Capitol. Into the Capitol. What? No! Peacefully.
Is that the de-escalation?
Fed!
I guess that would be the deal. No, peacefully.
While they're calling him a Fed, yeah.
So it's also, isn't it strange that this guy here is the only guy who I've seen who wanted people to go into the Capitol is the only guy who hasn't been called in front of the January 6th committee for testimony. Right. Isn't that weird that he wouldn't be called in front of the January 6th? Everybody, I know his name. Kurt knows his name. Everybody who watches the show knows his name. Everybody who watches Tucker Carlson knows. Half the country knows this guy's name, but the January 6th committee wasn't interested in his testimony. Isn't that interesting?
Well, they weren't interested in any, like... Was it just a completely one-sided thing? It wasn't like they're like, we're going to get bold.
That's right. Of course it was. That's why Dick Cheney's daughter was she's a hero to the Democrats because she was
courage of Liz Cheney.
Yes. Okay. Anything to add to this?
Well, that's how George Bush wound up a hero.
That's right, because
to the liberal class, and a lot of it goes back to what your last guest was talking about. These people are so manipulated. They're so brainwashed. That's why I really asked him, where do you think it's coming from? And he basically said that's a layer beyond what we're able to investigate. But when you look at all this, it's hard to imagine that it is not.
There's a lot of mass projects. Just think of it as constant gain of function on everything, not just viruses. So let's take this stupid thing and gain of function as something worse and then sell the cure. That's the thing you do with everything. You do it with movements or take your pick of things. Terrorists. That's how we got Hamas, right? They gain a function everything.
They gain a function everything.
They're job creators is what they are.
Right.
Okay. Let's go to a break and we'll be right back.
Hey, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down there for more AM Joy and the rest of MSNBC. And click on any of the videos right here to watch the latest interviews and highlights. And you can get more videos from MSNBC for free every day with our newsletter. Just visit